Everyone was watching, but no one expected this. Jack Betts, a man who carried the golden age of Hollywood on his shoulders, is now gone. And what's more shocking is how quietly it all ended. No headlines, no noise, just silence. The man who once stood beside legends like John Wayne and Clint Eastwood left this world, and barely anyone noticed. How could a man who gave nearly 7 decades to Hollywood disappear without the world pausing for a moment? Why was there no big tribute, no nationwide farewell? Jack Betts wasn't just another actor. He was one of the last living links to classic cinema. Born in 1929, he lived through Hollywood's biggest changes. He was there when westerns ruled the screens. He saw the rise of television, the fall of the studio system, and the digital age takeover. He worked under stage names like Hunt, Powers, starred in spaghetti westerns, and played villains that people feared and admired. But unlike many of his peers, Jack never chased the spotlight. He didn't marry a pop star or throw crazy parties. He stayed in the shadows doing what he loved, acting. Most people today don't even recognize his name, but once, he was part of a movement that shaped Hollywood's image across the world. He didn't need fame, he needed purpose. And that's rare in today's world where people are famous just for being famous. Think about it. Jack was active in the film world for over 65 years. Who else can say that? Very few. Even today's A-list actors burn out after 2 decades. But Jack kept going, quietly building a body of work that spanned over 100 projects. One of his close friends said, Jack didn't care about being on the cover of magazines. He cared about telling stories. That quote explains everything about him. He chose roles that had heart, even if the budget was small. He often accepted parts that younger stars would reject, just to keep working and doing what he loved. For him, acting wasn't about attention. It was about connection. Unlike modern stars who take social media breaks and write long posts about mental health, Jack never once complained. He faced rejection, career dips, and changing tastes without losing his passion. In a way, he was tougher than the cowboys he played on screen. Where others shouted for the world to look at them, Jack whispered and still got noticed, at least by those who knew the real value of consistency and humility. Let's compare him to someone like Clint Eastwood. Both were from the same era. Both played similar roles. Clint became a superstar, director, and legend. Jack stayed in the background, the unsung hero. But does that make his contribution any less? Maybe not. Maybe it shows a different kind of strength, the kind that doesn't need loud applause to feel fulfilled. In fact, it reminds us of character actors like Harry Dean Stanton, who never got top billing but were the soul of every film they touched. And now, with his passing, we are left with the question, did we ever truly appreciate people like Jack Betts? Or are we too busy celebrating the loudest voices that we forget the ones who quietly changed the industry? In today's fast, flashy entertainment world, we often overlook the people who lay the foundation. Jack Betts was one of them. A man who worked with respect, stayed grounded, and gave his best even when cameras weren't rolling. One director once said, if Jack was in your film, you didn't have to worry about that scene. He would nail it in one take. That's the level of professionalism he carried till the end. And what makes it all the more heartbreaking is how little attention his death received. There were no major news flashes, no trending hashtags, no emotional tributes from big stars. It almost feels like Hollywood itself forgot. But we shouldn't, because when men like Jack Betts go unnoticed, we lose a piece of film history, a part that can't be replaced. He didn't need to scream for validation. His legacy speaks through the films he left behind. From dusty western towns to small independent dramas, Jack Betts gave more than just performances, he gave authenticity. His death should be a wake-up call, a moment for us to ask ourselves, are we still valuing real talent, or are we just chasing the next big name? So now, we ask you, what do we really want from our celebrities? Fame or sincerity? Do we want stars who live loudly, or ones who quietly give everything to their art? Shouldn't we start celebrating those who gave their lives to their work, even if the world never gave them the fame they deserved? Let Jack Betts be remembered not just as a forgotten actor, but as a symbol of dedication, humility, and love for the craft. Because if people like him vanish from our memory, who will carry the soul of Hollywood forward? What do you think? Did Jack Betts deserve more recognition? Or is this just how Hollywood works now? Let us know.